This is Lil Wayne. This is Drake.
All
Nicki Minaj,
Chris Brown, Khalid, Post Malone
on one station.
this is
Flow 93.5, Toronto's hip hop. Listen now.
All right, man, y'all know what it is. It's your man Ricochet, and I'm sitting down with the one and only, the broski, Preme. I said Preme just now, which is crazy because when I
let day one slide. Because
when I first met you, that's what I met you as, Preme. That was like, I met you, I think, at the Dread Studio on Peter Street, like 15 years ago. You remember that spot? Brian, up above the jerk spot, B. So you would be in the studio, and then you just smell the thing cooking up downstairs.
Crazy. I remember that was a vibe.
There definitely was a vibe. But like I'm saying, like I've seen, first and foremost, let me congratulate you on your success, man. The last 5 to 7 years, your career has really just risen to a point where I think you're in your lane, like you're doing what you're doing. And I've seen you come from, like I said, from Preme, from being in that studio and in that tight ass studio, hot as you know what it is down there. And I've just seen your career progress. What do you attribute that success to and the growth?
Just not sleeping, man, working hard,
Right.
This day I'm still on the same I probably got home at like 9 a.m. I'm probably on like 2 hours of sleep, and that's the last night. And that's after, finding the success I've had recently with everything I'm doing musically. I mean, I'm not even close to where I want to be, but I'm a millionaire. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Work like I'm broke. So
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you attribute your success to anything, it should just be definitely working hard, staying focused. I'm relentless, man. Things I've been through to get to where I'm at.
I've witnessed it.
They wouldn't even believe.
I can honestly say I've witnessed the journey. And I mean, the city's proud of you. I'm proud of you. You rep the city in a proper light. It's not just music with you. You do other things to make sure the community's thriving, the city's thriving. So I definitely rate you for that. Going back to when you said the M's, when the M's started coming in, like when you had that record with Post Malone and was it Avicii? No, Tiesto and Post Malone. That record right there, that record took you to a whole different place. At least for me. I mean, up until then, you were doing, I wouldn't say street records, but you were really, in your lane with hip hop. What was it like to open up and explore that side of music for you? Because it was a surprise to me, and I know it was a big surprise to a lot of your fans as well.
And it's still a surprise to me. My boy had to talk me into. I didn't want to do that record, really. The hip hop, the song's called Jackie Chan. It's me, Post Malone, Secco, and Tiesto. And if you listen to my album, Light of Day, the original version is a hip hop beat. Right. And that's all I wanted to do. Post is my brother, so I just wanted to do a record with him. But Zecco, who's actually from Toronto, he's an EDM DJ, was the one that actually, I was in LA. I was living in LA for a few years. He came over to the crib. I played him the album. He's like, yo, you should definitely remix this. And I'm like, EDM? I'm like, no way. I'm telling you. I'm like, all right, well, just, even though I wrote this shit and I'm producing it, I'm on it, put me as featured. Because I don't want this to come out like Preme featuring this and people to think I'm in this Flow Rider lane all of a sudden. Right.
Well, did you feel like you'd be selling out at that point by doing that?
I definitely did. And then you get the royalty check and you're like, sell me out. So, it's always good to keep an open mind, especially for young artists in the city that are listening. Definitely keep an open mind. I mean, if you trust somebody to give you good advice,
Right.
It may not necessarily be a bad thing. That was probably the catalyst in my career to the newfound success that I've got, because it's also opened up so many lanes for me, producing, writing, and so many different things that people don't know what I'm capable of till this point. Like I can do it
behind the scenes.
Exactly. I'm super versatile with any style of music. And I think, Jackie Chan being double platinum in the US now and like 100 times platinum all over the world, people are like, oh, like Preme could definitely talk his shit. You know what I'm saying? So Jackie Chan was definitely a huge part for me from everything I've done till now. And, it's really helped change my life.
Well, salute to that one, man. Like I said, I'm sure the M started rolling in after that. We're here today to talk about your latest project, Link Up, Preme and Popcaan. That's another thing. Like you're surprising everybody over here, because I would not expect that collab.
I'm surprising myself.
That's not something you couldn't tell me. Oh, yo, Preme and Popcaan are dropping a project together. I couldn't picture it.
Yeah, it's crazy. And if you told me I would be doing a reggae influenced record, I'd probably think you're crazy. But I mean, like I said, man, when the vibe is right and you're able to make any style of music and you're not forcing it, it just happens. You know, these records really are just happening on their own. I'm not planning them. Like me and Popcaan linked up in Toronto to just record a record. There's no plans for we're gonna put it out, what would happen, and we ended up doing 6 songs in 2 nights. I jumped on the mic, he jumped on the mic. We both freestyled the entire album in like 2 nights.
Right.
And then we're like, yo, are we tripping or are all of these hard? You know what I'm saying? Everybody we were playing it for was like, yo, these records are crazy. I'm like, yo, I can't pick one. We might just have to drop this whole tape. And he's like, yeah, and that's literally how it came about.
That's how it went down.
Organic as hell.
Now, how was the process with y'all? Because, like, first of all, your sound on this project shows your versatility.
Appreciate that.
You going from the smooth-ish, you going to that good old Preme that we know. You're really stretching the boundaries. What when you're in the studio and you're in that mindset, what got you penning those joints? Like, where was the inspiration coming from?
Like I said, we didn't write nothing. Like, we literally went back and forth on the mic and it just came, man. And I feel like the important part is when you're working with somebody like Popcaan or any artist that you know you're inspired by and you have a certain level of respect for, it pushes you to want to be better, right?
Right.
It's almost like you're competing.
Right. Y'all are trying to make each other better, basically.
Record, you're competing. You know, who wants to have the first verse, and also you don't want Popcaan to be on the mic, do a crazy hook, and then you jump on the mic with some whack ass verse and make you crazy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that always pushes you to you know, or me to bring the best out of me. And I love working with people. Collaborating is one of my favorite things to do. And I feel like, you know, just the fact that he was there and killing it pushed me to continue to do what I do at a high level. But I mean, the vibes were just right. And I think it's very important that we were friends first for a very long time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. Cause like, it's like, and that's what
important it is. The chemistry is different when you have a real relationship with somebody and then the music comes after. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can hear, if you really take in this project, how well we sound together. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like we're a group and we're not. First time we even worked together like that. But it sounds like we've been doing it together for years. And I think that just comes from the fact that we had a relationship prior.
Now, how important is that? I mean, when you look at, obviously Reps Up in OVO, that was from Time. When you look at the whole set now, you know, it's Unruly, it's Reps Up, it's OVO, it's UTU. How important is that to be bouncing things off of your fam and that comfort level?
I think it's dope, man, because once everybody has a certain level of respect and admiration for each other, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it pushes you to want to be better.
Right.
Nobody wants to get left behind. Everybody wants to do their thing and stand on their own too and bring something to the table. So like even you mentioned UTU, like I did a record with Roy Woods the other night. Me and Dave East record, and I threw Roy Woods on that, and he always comes with like the most unique, different vibe.
Yeah. Oh,
Party Next Door is like a guy that's been on every album I've done probably since the beginning of my career that I super look up to, that always kills it. Drake,
right.
You know, got to speak about. So I think everybody has a thing they bring to the table. Now that with them newly signing Popcaan and bringing that Unruly squad, it's just a whole different element and flair. I think the shit's really hard, really hard. I hope it continues to grow.
Now the EP, for all those who are just kind of rocking with us right now, the EP link up, Preme and Popcaan, 6 records on this joint, like you said. Talk to me about the features. How did you choose those features? How did you pick who was supposed? Because I was listening to before we got on this, I was listening to probably one of my favorite records was either Freeze or Murder You Want with French.
Yeah, I feel like people are saying the same thing. The record Murder You Want. I don't know if you remember like DMX Mr. Vegas. Like,
yeah. Off of the Belly soundtrack.
Yeah, I always loved that record. And I was always like, man, rapping, like the way rap and reggae fuses, if it's like a gangster record,
right?
I've always been a fan of that. So
right.
Me and Popcaan did the 5 songs. I was like, yo, we need one more record, but it got to be on like a rap beat. So I hit my boy London on the track. His producer, done everything, and he gave me that beat. And I was like, yo, we got to do some rap, reggae type G. And I'm very, very pleased with the way it came out. French was a dude, man. You know, he got that swag.
Right.
Swag. I don't know. He came to me right away, and I was like, yo, French would kill this. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that came about. Everybody else was just kind of organic. I was in a studio in LA. I know Popcaan and DeVito have a relationship. We just happened to be in the studio together. I was like, yo, you pick a record. And he ended up picking Comfortable, jumping on that and killing it. who else is on it? My boy Beam, he's at the end of Love Cost Too Much. He's a new artist from Miami that'll be coming out soon. He killed the end of Love Cost Too Much. And Wiz Khalifa was actually, I think Popcaan's idea to get on Wine & Queen. You know,
right.
Wiz, huge fan of Wiz and everything he does. So
see, that's something else that I would never, like, you couldn't tell me that the three of y'all will be on a record like Wine & Queen.
Exactly. I don't even think I was really for that idea when Popcaan said it, but I trusted him and it came out crazy. So it was just more like close friends and shit that we just threw on it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know,
circling back to what you were saying about the Belly and who's Belly and
yeah, DMX and Mr. Vegas.
Yeah, DMX and Mr. Vegas off the Belly soundtrack. You know, I almost feel like when those records were coming out at that time period, it was ahead of its time. Like, I don't think the audience was ready for it. Now, you guys dropping this project, it brings, you know, the culture, and when I say culture, it almost brings that West Indian culture to the forefront. Yourself being Guyanese, Popcaan being Jamaican. What do you think this lets the rest of the world know about what's going on in the West Indies?
I think it's definitely been brought to the forefront in the last few years. Because remember, when Cardi, I mean, we could give Drake the credit for records like One Dance or putting it on an international level, right?
Right.
Fusing the sounds of like reggae and, you know, everything that we've been doing in Toronto, because we're such a melting pot of a huge Caribbean community, right? But like,
of course,
really think about it, Cardi been on that. Cardi now been on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, from time.
We probably, and you know, Screwface Capital, us being the haters that we were like, oh, that's corny, or what it was. Right. It clearly wasn't that corny because he's had amazing success with his style, right?
Of course.
But now that guys like Drake and them are doing it, but at such a high level, it's almost that we forget the guys that kind of started that. And Toronto's been huge on like fusing like reggae and rap and all that from like the last 10, 20 years. We know that, right? It's
been there from the jump.
I think it just took the right artists to crack it wide open for everybody to follow suit. And now look, the rest of the world is vibing crazy with Afro beats, and guys like Wizkid, DeVito are blowing up like rappers. You know what I'm saying?
Right, facts.
And when we were doing it, we've been doing that. And I think Toronto's probably one of the first cities outside of the Caribbean itself to actually really embrace that.
Definitely, maybe New York in there, but definitely we were on that from the jump. I remember like even that the first Ghetto Concept record, you heard that kind of like brewing, and we're talking like early 90s.
And it's funny because I was talking to my boy about this the other day. It's like now when you're listening to rappers from London and the drill sound,
right? Like
now New York has this drill style, but the UK been doing that.
Right.
Till this day, they didn't even realize that. I'll be playing like a London rapper's record, and my American boys will be like, "Yo, what reggae artist is that?" And I'm like,
Nah. There's still a little
catching up for them to do.
Yeah, they still got to catch up a little bit. But I mean, the seed has been sown, and you know, I mean, Toronto has pretty much created that lane. Of course, Drake popularizing that around the world and taking that sound global. So the project came out on Friday at midnight. Like I said, 6 joints. Now, if you had to pick one record, if Preme is picking one record, P got one record that he's going with on this, his favorite joint, what's that record?
I just feel like the single that is out right now, Comfortable. Featuring DeVito. DeVito is a huge artist, probably the biggest in Africa, and I just feel like because Popcaan and DeVito already worked together in the past, they already sound really well together. I feel like that really shine through in the song, and I just feel like that has the biggest chance of like really crossing over and penetrating through to like the, you know.
I like to call it when I hear you on them records.
My personal favorite record is Murder You Want.
Yeah, okay. So
like
the street.
I just want to do some street stuff. But the record that I think will probably do the best might be Comfortable.
Okay. When I hear you on records like Wine and Queen and Comfortable, like I see P getting his light skin on there. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're getting like, you're talking to the ladies right there.
Till this day, I'll get tweeted and stuff from fans. And the thing I get the most is, yo, I just found out Preme is P Rain. And I'll just die laughing. But then they'll be like, yo, you sing? I'm like,
my guy does it all.
No, I got a little singing vibe. But I mean, I could do it all. Like I said, rap, sing, the melodic thing. So, you know,
we've all seen.
Pretty curious to see how people take this album in and what they think about it.
Right. All right. Before we get up out of here, what's on the horizon for you? What you got on deck next?
Oh man, the Link Up project is out with me and Popcaan. I'm really excited about that. So many other things I want to do outside of music that I'm trying to juggle all these things. But I'm finally making a commitment to myself. Like at this point, I just want to stay consistent with putting out music. So I got like 300 records done. I could put out like 4 albums right now.
Right.
I'm excited to just finish the records, pick the best ones, and just keep going bang after bang. So right after this Link Up tape, I got another tape coming called No Wolves in the Circus.
Okay.
I got another tape coming called Penthouse, and I'm just gonna start killing it.
Another question I had that I wanted to ask you: how do you feel this pandemic has affected your process? Has it affected your process? Has it changed the way you do things? Has it changed the way you work?
I'm a loner. I'm a homebody. Like I hardly see my friends. Like I moved to LA for 3.5 years, and it was like. I'm literally not coming back to Canada until I'm rich. It's now or never. And I never came back to Canada for 3.5 years. Like I've been in Toronto for a year.
Right.
And I was there by myself. Like Drake and all my boys are on tour all over the world. I stayed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm used to being on my own. I'm used to being in the studio by myself for like 2 days straight, no sleep. So I brought that same mindset back to Toronto, and that's all I've been on. So before the pandemic, my life was like a pandemic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't go. You know what I'm saying? I really think I've finally been able to get to a level where I'm happy, and I want to continue to grow and continue to do my thing. And the only way to do that is to stay consistent and work my ass off. So that's all I've been on. I recently started a publishing company with Sony ATV. Oh. I really wanted to come back to the city and find like no-name producers and writers, because I mean everybody's no name until they get that one record.
Of course, yeah.
So I started with Sony ATV. I signed a bunch of kids from Toronto. I also just did a deal with Columbia Records in the States for my own record label, Reps Up Records. So I'm looking for artists. Besides that, I just went independent. I got all these projects coming out. So, I don't really got time to do anything but go to work.
Well, let me tell you again, man, I'm happy to hear that you're happy, brother. It really means, for real, that means a lot. From coming up from the mud to see where you've come now. Yeah. You deserve it, brother. All right, so the project out now. I'm gonna urge everybody to go run the numbers up. I've taken a listen to it. I got the little pre-link. Really dope project. I'm excited to hear everything else. I'm excited to hear everything else you got coming, man. Make sure you always keep, tap in with us. Let us know what you got going on over here, my dude.
We go back like wave caps. You got my number. You call me for anytime, bro.
I know the waves are looking mighty tight under there too. Like you can see them popping out. All right, my dude. I appreciate you. And like I said, everybody go stream the album. Much love, my brother.
Thank you, bro.
Y'all know them.
All your favorite hip-hop artists.
This is Lil Wayne. This is Drake.
All
Nicki Minaj,
Chris Brown, Khalid, Post Malone.
on one station.
this is
Flow 93.5, Toronto's hip-hop. Listen now.